Hi, I'm Rigger, this is Your Right, and today I wanted to just share a quick idea. But first, if you like it, share it if you think others would too, and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, of course. Before we start, I will say this contains spoilers for Chapter 6 of Volume 8, so there's your warning. Also, literally as I'm writing the script that I'm reading now, insane, thank you so much, this clicked over. It feels greedy to say that now I know what I want for Christmas. 1K was like the huge milestone when I started. I didn't really think I'd ever actually hit it, and while I haven't yet, to be this close to what I thought was perhaps almost like the end goal is staggering. The idea 900 people have actively chosen to want to see more of my work is unbelievable. I can't describe the feeling, honestly, so thank you all so much, truly. So, yeah, okay, like I said at the start, this is just sort of a quick idea that came to mind, and I need to talk about it now before the next episode. It's not a giant half-hour deep theory, but instead a little speculation leading up into Chapter 7, and thinking about what the second half of the volume will be. At the end of Chapter 6, we see the whale land in Atlas. The obvious question is, what happens now? Sure, the Grim Goo spills out and spawns Grim, etc., but I don't think we'll actually see a full all-out battle yet. I know that sounds sort of ridiculous looking at the setup and how they ended it, but hear me out. Analyzing RWBY's recent writing, particularly what I mean is through Volume 7, there's something they did which really annoyed me, which is indicating a huge battle cliffhanger and basically skipping over it to the next episode. At the end of Volume 7, Chapter 5, they show the riot starting, and then in Chapter 6, they opened with that conflict handled. Then they do it immediately again at the end of Chapter 6, they indicate the fallout from the election, and Penny's framing was going to result in more riots and all the Grim flying in and attacking, but then the next episode we skipped right over that night to the fallout. Now, in theory, this is alright overall, because we didn't have the time to spend on it with the overall plot running, but when you watch the volume back, you really notice that they tease a serious event at the end of 2 episodes in a row and skip over both of them in the next episode, and it feels very annoying. Now, if this volume is being written similarly, there's a good chance that there'll be this big tease here, but it won't result in sort of the all-out fight and war you think it will. But there's an even better way to justify what I'm saying, and it's not the, past writing, even though that is a good indicator, but just look at the show, there's an even better explanation as to why, and it's pretty obvious if you're watching with a critical eye, and it's money and time. Look, at this point you can really feel the time and budget stretching. Chapter 6 was littered with missing details and underwhelming visuals. That's crunch and time. There is them not having the resources and time to deliver what they had in the script and in their head. Things like the swords having no blood on them, the fact that the giant attack river resulted in 4 sentinels. It's not a tactical or artistic choice, it's that they couldn't animate the wave of Grim it was probably meant to be. It's that the details couldn't be delivered on, they couldn't give a last sheen pass and everything and add in all those little bits and pieces to really sort of give polish to the episode. You can see more of it, the ground on Atlas farms looks terrible and the ships overhead don't even move, let alone attack, aside from this one shot of one laser. It's budget and time, and that's alright. If you recognize that sometimes circumstances mean you can't deliver what you want, then that's okay, you can give them that leeway. It happens. It's not hate to say that you can recognize when they just couldn't deliver what they'd clearly hoped for. But this is a big reason they'd find a way to skip as many little battles as possible. Fight scenes and battles take far longer than anything else. They're hard, they're complicated, they're expensive, and they're what people came to see, so if you don't deliver when you do them, you get a lot of criticism. So rather than doing smaller, mediocre battles that don't look as great, they put more effort into the few battles they do include, and they skip the ones that they can. That's why this big mid-season break coming up is really a good thing for the show if you're looking for quality. The more time they have, the more they can deliver. It's just how it works. There's a good chance you do that here. Sure, you tease all these Grim, like, oh my god, the war is on, except they do this another way, and there's not a bad idea on how to do it. For those of you wondering about the title of this video, see, when I saw Salem right in at the end of Volume 7, and then now I see this setup, it kept setting off a part of my brain. The bit where you recognize something, like this is a reference you know, or you recognize that shot, but you can't really place it where. RWBY takes from other things all the time, so many people have talked about how this copies endgame setup to a degree, or it feels like that. But literally today it clicked what I'm thinking of. When I'm looking at this setup, and I'm looking at Salem, what it's clicking in my head is Hela from Thor Ragnarok. I mean, look at the designs, it really has that feel to it. Now, movie Hela was designed after Salem's creation, obviously she existed long before that in the comics as well. However, I'm almost near certain Hela's outfit was a big influence on Salem's redesign. The exposed shoulders, the little horns near the edge that sort of, moved down and changed in Salem's version, the coloured running lines, it's pretty close close, except Hela has pants and she has a dress, but there's influence there. I can really feel it when you put them side by side. Obviously, her hair and the horns sort of being a big head accessory, I guess, doesn't help those comparisons. Though Salem did keep her boob window, I guess, just for style points. But what I'm really thinking is this end of episode setup actually leads into Salem somewhat mimicking Hela's actions from Thor Ragnarok. Not necessarily in plot, but just in execution of how you could do this whole she's an Atlas thing. Remember, the Aesops and Winter aren't here. RWBY's gang are, but they have Nora, and they have their own military to deal with, etc. Ironwood is basically alone with soldiers, because apparently Atlas doesn't have any other regular huntsmen that we can see, unless Team Funky want to have a crack at it. Again, that's the budget and time showing through. But I'm thinking a bunch of Atlas soldier squads fill the streets in front of the whales' approach. Grimm are spawned, Salem and the generals walk out, the Grimm being controlled to be held back, and Salem talks. She does the entrance from Thor Ragnarok where Hela walks into Asgard. She tells them that there's no need to fight, she says who she is, and that they all should just lay down their arms because she's not there to kill them. Because, legitimately, she's kind of not. She doesn't want or need that, she wants the relic. Killing everyone is legitimately pointless for her. Then Ironwood will be Ironwood and probably refuse, say it's not gonna happen, and then for all those audience members that say Salem doesn't do anything, I'd just have her walk forwards, wave her arms, magic and craziness rips through the squads like butter, before she calmly asks again. Maybe have her taking shots and wounds that just heal immediately, and she walks through the gunfire unharmed, tearing them to shreds, and then pauses again. That'd be dope. Then eventually, James is just forced to relent. It's stop or just let everyone pointlessly die. You can't stop her. Then you just set her up being in Atlas. Like, you might see Salem in James's office, just sitting in his chair. Salem's generals just hanging out at Atlas. It's a stalemate where she has no need to kill these people, and she doesn't need to kill James either, really. He can't stop her. She's just waiting on Penny to be recovered. Cinder and the Hound are on that after they break What's Out, which they can do while this conflict is happening on proper Atlas. And once that's done, Yang and that squad with the Aesops with Winter are also going after Penny. So you could have them fighting to get to Penny, or possibly trying to stop Hacked Penny from getting back to Atlas, which could be a fight. Rather than just all-out war, you can set up a threatening hostile takeover. The looming idea that Salem is so powerful, with the army of Grimm right there that can attack any time she wants, and the generals are in your capital, just works. You can then do something like the RWBY squad having to raid occupied Atlas Academy, or turning Schnee Manor into the rebel base within the city for the team to hide while they plan, including the Aesops and Yang's team when they return too. Sort of city skirmish style. You could even do a thing where when they go through Atlas Academy, you can go to rooms you recognize, and each room has a different general in it, like a sort of boss fight along the way, similar to the train in Volume 2. You have Tyrion waiting by the vault, and you have someone like Hazel waiting in that foyer where they fought with the Aesops. You can go through places we know and boss battle as they each split up to go do something. Maybe, these are just ideas, but you set up that they're just casually in Atlas now because you can't do anything about it. This really kind of works. It's very threatening, it sets up confrontations, it's lower budget because we're not animating armies, and the fights that we do see are just like magic powers, literal hand-waving, so no martial arts and complicated sword fights. And the voice actors, especially for people like Sam and Ironwood, can carry the rest, and they're more than capable of doing so. I'm not saying this is the coolest option or what everyone wants to see, but once it clicked in my head that this is a setup that really could be possible under these circumstances, it seemed a little more and more likely. So I just thought I'd have a little swing at it. And yeah, obviously I need to put this out now because there's a good chance in just a couple days I'll be proven immediately wrong, but who knows. But the reference is there, the setup is there, it makes sense for budget and animation, and you can still get across things like how unstoppable Salem is and make it feel threatening. And also you could set up for things like the cliffhanger at the end of episode 7 is Penny gets brought to the vault. Like, you end in the vault and they're all there or something. Maybe you have the doors open and you see the staff and cut, or something like that. So I guess that's it. It's just one of those videos I'm not really sure what to do with it. I just thought of something I wanted to talk about, so I did. But if you like it, then please drop us a like. If you think others would like it too, then please share it around. Let me know your thoughts below and subscribe for more. Remember, sometimes you need to fight fire with fire to match your opponent without fear. You must not be afraid to use your enemy's own tactics against them, which is why Glinda is truly our one and only chance to defeat Salem. The only way to combat her boob window is with another even fuller boob window. Until next time, my name is Rigger, hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope I did alright.